Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a podcast on crystals and their uses and some of my favorites. So I won't be covering like every crystal out there. I may do a series of this. I have done some in the past, but I like to kind of update it with as I learn about new crystals and share that knowledge with you, all of my viewers. I also would like to say that right now I am running a promo on my store for 15% off of any readings. So if you want to gift readings or buy some readings and give them away to some family members or friends for Valentine's Day, all you have to do is use promo code Cupid. That's capital C, lowercase u, PID, and it's you just enter it upon checkout on my store. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop, and it is valid until February 14th. So that being said and done, let's get into the crystals here that I am going to be sharing. Now this crystal right here that I am sharing with you is called Prehnite, and that is one of my favorite crystals that I recently discovered maybe about 4 months ago. I'm always looking and researching about new crystals, like which ones would be the best for me. There's just so many crystals out there that I wish I had a collection of every single crystal, but Prehnite is one of my favorite ones because this is a stone to be used by healers. This is a stone to heal the healer in you. So for those of you that are healers, either you do Reiki or you have the healing ability to heal people, but you just don't, classify yourself as a healer, but you have that. Or even those of you that are empaths, this is going to be a good stone for you, especially if you are easily drained from your energy, you're around a narcissist or an energy vampire, or just negative energies. This is going to be a stone, and I've recommended to some of my clients in private readings. Depending on what kind of energy they have and what I see that's going on in their life, I will recommend this stone. I have it. I actually wear this on my left hand, and it's in a gold-plated ring, and I usually buy a lot of my jewelry on Etsy.com, and I love different shops, so I won't list any shops here because I shop all the time with different providers, and I think that it would be good for you to go with who you feel drawn to as well. Now, a lot of people will go to crystal shops. If you have one near you, that's fine, that's good. I recommend that for you to hold a crystal in your hand, see which ones resonate with you, or you feel like vibe with you, and you'll know because you'll feel like either a warm sensation or you'll feel like a pull or an attraction to that crystal. But for me, like in the city that I live in, there's not a crystal shop, so I have to order a lot of it online. But what I'll do is I'll tap in using my psychic energy and see if which of the crystal shops, which crystal kind of speaks to me and draws me in, that I feel this pull. And what it does, this crystal is a very beautiful color. It's kind of like an opaque green, very light green, like almost like a yellow green. And what it does, it heightens the flow of life force energy in the body. It connects your heart, your will to your heart. So it means that your heart's vibration becomes the dominating influence in your life. It creates the ability to send out the messages that using your will and the resonance of your heart. And it will also encourage communication with all manner of beings in the higher realms. So like those of you that want to connect to your spirit guides, this would be an excellent stone to have, to wear either in a pendant form, a ring form. I have it in a ring form, but some people wear pendants, bracelets. You can get it like practically in any kind of way, and it helps you connect to the higher planes, including your angels. It has so many properties that I can't even begin to tell you, but it does also enhance visualization for those of you that may have problems visualizing things, to manifest things in your life, especially during meditation. This is going to be a good stone for you, and it will also aid you to hear beings on planes other than ours. So, like again, connecting to your spirit guides. Those of you that say, "Well, I never can connect or hear messages," this would be a good one to use for that purpose. And you'll know, depending on when you use it. Like I had this client that just recently I recommended this stone to her based on her vibration. She was going through a lot of rough, a rough patch in her life, from love life to finances and whatnot. And when she started wearing it, she said she noticed some changes immediately in her life, and they were positive in nature. This stone also works with Archangel Raphael. So Raphael is known as the archangel for healing. So again, it's all going to depend on you. I highly recommend it if you feel drawn or compelled to this stone, or if you're a healer. It's going to be good because it's going to heal your body and heal your soul, especially if you are healing other people. It's constantly draining. You don't have to be a nurse or, a chiropractor or a Reiki master to use this. Like I said, you can be an empath. You can be someone that is just, um, around negativity, and you'd want to kind of heal yourself from past trauma as well. For those of you that maybe have been victims of abuse of any kind, this would be a good stone to kind of heal some past life trauma as well. So it has various uses. It can range from a light green to a little darker green, but like I said, the one that I have, I love it. It's almost like a yellow green, kind of murky, just like you see it on the screen, but it comes in different variations. So I'm glad that I was able to share this stone with you, and I hope that some of you will find it very helpful. So now we're going to get into the next crystal. Now this is citrine, and this is one of my favorite crystals, and I posted 2 pictures of citrine here because a lot of people are buying citrine that looks like the one on the right, which is kind of an orangey yellow, which is kind of also known as topaz. They're not the same thing as authentic citrine. And this is something that I found out maybe about a year or 2 ago, just, ordering and working with a lot of jewelers that deal in gemstones and asking questions. And that's kind of how I found out about it. So if you are shopping for it and you've been referred to get something that is citrine, a citrine crystal, you don't want to get the one that looks on the right, because that is actually amethyst that's been heated or lab simulated in a lab environment, and so it turns into this kind of topaz color. That is not citrine. Citrine is the one on the left. It's more clear, see-through. It's almost like a mixture of a quartz and yellow in it. It's a light yellow or a pale yellow, and they can range in shades, but typically that is an authentic citrine. Now, the good thing about this stone is called like the light maker. It's a stone of happiness, joy, abundance, and protection against negative energy. This crystal in particular is one of my favorites. So some people that are having like money troubles, like financially, some of you out there may be going through some hardships, or you're just money goes through your pockets, and always, you're always left kind of paycheck to paycheck. This is going to be a good manifesting stone to put in a piece in your purse, or to carry it, like I said, on you in a ring. I don't have a citrine ring, but I do have a pendant that I do wear from time to time, and then I do have here on my desk a large piece of citrine that looks kind of like the one on the left. It's very beautiful, and it has like rainbow inclusions in it when the light hits it. But this stone, if you're, like I said, you're struggling with money issues, it's a good stone to carry in your wallet, in your purse. They vary in size. You can get like tumbled stone, which is very little. They're tinier little pieces instead of the bigger, chunks like this, like the towers, or a little bit of like clusters of crystals. But citrine is associated with the root or the sacral, solar plexus, sacral and solar plexus chakras. And basically what it does is that it kind of helps, it can help also with creating people that are having fertility issues. This is a good stone to use as well. Like I said, it has many uses. It can also be used to banish negativity. This stone doesn't typically have to be recharged. It can charge other crystals. So if you have other crystals, you can put it by one of these citrines, and it will kind of cleanse your other crystals and also amplify the energy. This one doesn't really need to be clean, clean its energy or to recharge it. It charges by itself, but it's still good to put it, once in a while under the moonlight, the full moon, to charge it if you want to. I personally don't, but again, a lot of people do. It is called usually the merchant's stone, and with it, it's like I said, it increases supposedly your money, and it brings good things like prosperity, attracting wealth. It's also an excellent stone for interpersonal relationships, so it smooths family or group problems and promotes solutions and cohesiveness. So for those of you that are having like family issues, a lot of drama in your family, this is a good stone to have a piece in your home and also carrying it with you. The gift of citrine, angel, or spheres to a newborn brings intelligence, health, happiness, curiosity. So those of you that have newborns, you could put this by their crib, or somewhere around the room to help as well. But it's a good balancing stone. I really feel like it does help, and it vibrates at a very high level. I do enjoy this crystal a lot, especially like when I'm doing spells for abundance for myself. I'll buy a green candle and I'll place like a dollar bill underneath it with a petition, something that I'm going to write, and I have a piece of citrine by it. And again, it's a good crystal. So let's get into the next one here. Okay, black tourmaline is one of my favorites. I've been using this for years. It is kind of soft and brittle. You have to kind of find the right one. Some people don't like to wear black tourmaline because, again, it can break easily, but they do sell it in pendant form or bracelets or even rings. This is a talisman. It's very powerful. It's used to really as a grounding stone, and it can, help against ward off psychic attacks, negative energy, destructive forces, witchcraft, black magic. So things that are very negative, what it does, it pulls that energy into the stone, transmutes it, and sends it out as positive energy. A lot of you that maybe have been victims of psychic attack, or you're spiritual workers, and you get a lot of constant psychic attacks, or you're around people that that work with dark magic, and they've used it against you for hexing, whatnot. This is a good stone to wear for protection, and it can be used, like I said, in spells if you are into magic. It can help or help alleviate some people that have panic attacks, that they have phobias, around the environment. This really can help with that. This also stimulates the reflex points associated with the lower back, the legs, the ankles, and the feet, and may be used to realign the spinal column. So it provides pain relief and assists with strained or torn muscles, numbness, arthritis, and scar tissue. Again, it has various uses that you can use it for. And basically what I like it for is like it very much, I use this in combination with one of the other crystals that I'll talk about in a minute, and I'll get to it in a minute. It's called Selenite, but I'll get to it in a minute. But this is really a good crystal to use, especially, if to have pieces in your home. Again, it will kind of, cleanse the environment itself. So this is a good crystal, definitely. Okay, now this one is not really considered a crystal. It's considered a tektite. It's called Moldavite, and I've actually done 2 videos under my spiritual development videos, a part 1 and a part 2. This is a transformational stone. I want to call it a stone, but it's really not. What it is, it's a piece of a meteorite that crashed with Earth in Czechoslovakia many years ago. And basically what it did is it mixed with the earth and it formed this glass-like texture, which is called a tektite. It is a very powerful stone. Not everyone can handle wearing it, but I did wear this stone for about a year, and immediately when you wear it, some people react differently to it. A lot of people get like a warm flush feeling over their face. For me, I got like a warm feeling sensation all over my body, some tingling, and my cheeks. Basically, it lasted a couple of minutes, and I also had some anxiety, just a small bit of it, then died off. When you first get this Tektite, you will notice that it, some of you will react differently to it, but you may want to work with it in increments or pair it with something else called like an apophyllite or numite. There's other kind of crystals that you can pair it with to kind of balance out the energy. But basically this thing here, Moldavite, will amplify any existing crystal that you wear. So let's say you're wearing an amber ring, or you're wearing a Prehnite or ring, or an amethyst, or a turquoise ring. Well, whatever those crystals would originally, like emanate energy and healing for you, it's going to be magnified several times over with Moldavite. But you have to be careful where you get it. I don't suggest buying it over Amazon. I always suggest Inner Vision Crystals. It's based out of a company based out of New York. They they give you a certificate of authenticity. But again, there are some crystal shops that do sell Moldavite, and I'm pretty sure they are authentic. But the reason I say to be careful is because a lot of the stuff that is circulating comes from China, and it's not really authentic. Because if it says that it's been made in China, or someone tells you, oh, well, we got it from mining caves in South Brazil, that's a lie, because the only place that you can get Moldavite is from the Czech Republic, and that's where a lot of these pieces are, harvested from and brought into the U.S. and etc. So remember that. You have to kind of be careful. When you hold it up to the sun, it does look almost like an olive color, similar to Prehnite, but when you hold it in your hand, it is usually like a dark green. Almost looks like an emerald, but darker than an emerald, I would say. It almost like a greenish, kind of very dark forest green. That's what it looks like. But when the sun hits it, like this picture here, and they're holding it up, it's very much like that color, kind of like an olive green type of color. What it does, it transforms many things in your life. So if you're going through like creative blocks in writing, or you are going bankrupt with a business, or your business is failing and you're needing some new ideas, or you just feel stuck, in your career, you don't know how to get unstuck, or stuck in your marriage or your relationship, basically any area of your life that you feel stuck, this is a good stone to wear. Moldavite is very powerful. When you wear it over a course of a period of time, it does kind of purge away the wrong people from your life. So a lot of friendships will come to an end. That was one of the things that I noticed when I wore it. A lot of my friendships would come to an end, that I had, the wrong people would walk out of my life and the right people would stay. I had this during the Hurricane Harvey in 2017, and it helped me to, rebuild and kind of move forward and not being stuck in that past with a lot of that trauma. So it really does push a person forward out of your comfort zone. There was just so many good things that happened to me after using and working with this. I had to start off, using it a couple of hours a day, like wearing it. I got a pendant form from the company. So I worked with it maybe about 3 to 4 hours a day, and I would take it off. At night, I couldn't sleep with it under my pillow, but some people, may not want to sleep with it under their pillow. Again, you have to kind of work your way every day, using it a couple of hours until you kind of acclimate to it and you feel a little bit more comfortable with Moldavite. But it is a very powerful stone. Some people just don't like the energy itself at all. There is a myth that, for those of you that have heard about the emerald tablets, that there is a connection to this being part of the emerald tablets. Again, that's just a, more of a kind of thinking out there, a rumor. Whether or not that is true, that just depends. I do feel like there is a mystical association and an ancient power connected to Moldavite. And so I always keep a piece in my home, and I always carry a piece with me going around. So I still use it, but not as much as I used to. But anytime I use it, a lot of inspiration does come in with that stone. So I would highly recommend that for many of you out there. Okay, so let's get into the next stone here, or the next crystal. Lapis Lazuli, one of my favorites. I love, love, love lapis. It was used by the Egyptians on tombs, in jewelry, surrounded in gold. When it's paired with gold, it's very, very beautiful. It has a lot of different properties in it. I'm not a gemologist, so I'm not going to get too technical in it, but I will tell you that if you are getting an authentic piece or a genuine piece of lapis lazuli, it will have like pieces of gold in it. It looks like gold, kind of like a, silverish gold specks in the crystal itself. And it's blue in nature. This is going to be a good stone for those of you out there that have spiritual gifts, that you're wanting to open up your third eye or your psychic abilities and kind of make them, streamline them and make them a little bit stronger, the connection. You can use that, and you can lay a piece of it over your third eye when you're meditating. It also wards off negative energy, similar to the black tourmaline. It also helps with, just your overall your aura and just the energy all around you. I've worked with lapis for years, and I love the energy. For me, it vibes very well. For some people, it may not. It also can help with your throat chakra blockages. Those of you that have problems communicating, or any time you say something, it comes out misconstrued. You seem to always seem to bite your tongue, or you seem to say things that kind of piss people off for some reason, or you just feel like you're saying the wrong things, or you're not communicating, you're not able to communicate what you really feel. This is going to help with those blockages, because that is the color of the throat chakra. It is the blue. So I would recommend that crystal, this crystal here, for that purpose as well. But again, everybody may have their own opinion. You don't have to agree with me. There's just, these are just what I'm, personally have learned and what I've used. These are all these crystals that I'm showing you. I have used them, so I know that they work. Will it work the same for every person? I don't want to, do this podcast and give you that, hopes that it's going to work the same way for you, because again, everyone is different. So what works for one person may not work for the other. But I really highly recommend lapis lazuli. It's one of my fave crystals completely. Okay, so let's get into the next one here. Selenite, like I was telling you, selenite. This is my favorite. This is actually one of the first crystals that I worked with, as well as clear quartz. Selenite deals with the angels, with the angelic realm. It deals with a lot of healing for the body. It's a very soothing crystal. You cannot wet selenite because it will dissolve over time if it's exposed to water. It's very sensitive crystal. But again, it deals with healing. It deals with calling in some higher vibration. So those of you that are like in an environment that is very negative, you may want to pair it with a pair of black tourmaline crystal and selenite. These are kind of going to protect you against areas that are haunted, or there's dark energies around you. It's a good way to have it. Crystals are like temporary band-aids. They really don't work to the point to change your life in many ways, unless it's like Moldavite. But it does help you, and they do work if you have the intention behind it. Your intention has to be there behind the crystals. What do I mean by that? Basically, you have to believe that the crystals are going to work in order for them to work. It's just like anything, if you are going into some kind of career, or you're wanting a machine to work for you, it's not going to work unless you put it to work and also have that idea that or that hope, that faith that it is going to work for you. Then it's going to work for you. That's the same thing with selenite, but it is one to put like around rooms, especially if you're having like a lot of negative nightmares, or you have kids that are, children that are afraid of the dark, or they're seeing ghosts, or if they're like mediums themselves. These are going to be good protective crystals that you can give to them to carry if they're at the age where you feel like they won't swallow a piece, depending on how, the size of the crystal that you give them, or, just keep it around their room with some black tourmaline. It will help a lot, especially with children that are very gifted, or that have medium abilities and are not really aware of how to control that, and they have a lot of spirit activity that is visiting them at all hours of the night. They can, hold a piece of that crystal anytime spirit comes to them with black tourmaline. And then you also need to, let your child know if they're not, that, tell the spirits that I'm sorry, I'm not able to help you. Go to another medium. And, you know, spirits will respect that. But you kind of have to communicate with them. And children don't know any better. So they have to kind of set up some boundaries for themselves so that the spirits will leave them alone if they're at the age where they can talk and they comprehend, what you're telling them as a parent about how to protect themselves. But selenite is definitely a crystal of protection, good to connect with your spirit guides, your angels. It is good for healing. It is good to just overall cleanse the aura and the environment around you. And very strong when it's paired, like I said, with black tourmaline, but you can pair it with rose quartz. It just is all behind the intention. But I definitely love selenite, and I have pieces of it myself. Okay, this is Rainbow Moonstone. This is another crystal that I love, love, love. This is connects with the divine femininity. So those of you that are, that we all have a divine masculine and a divine feminine in us. We all have a duality. But this crystal is one like for fertility. Those of you that are females that are having fertility issues, this would be a good one to use for that. Also, it deals with divine feminine. So like I said, if you have a part of your divine feminine that is kind of damaged, or it's just, you're kind of struggling, this would be a good crystal to use. It also is a very good crystal to use for your psychic abilities. So those of you that have psychic abilities and that need to connect, like the Lapis Lazuli, this is a good crystal to carry as well and have and use at all times. It can promote some healing within the body itself. So this is one of my favorite pendants. When you kind of put the light up to it, or you take a picture of it, it kind of does give you like a glare. And it does give you kind of like a rainbow flash, a blue flash. It all depends. They come in different colors. Some of them may not necessarily produce a bright, bright bluish, opaque or white kind of rainbow flash, but some of them may. It just depends on the crystal and where you get it from, because there are some moonstones that are just more white in nature and they're not really with any blue tinge. But again, they're very, very good for many people. And I believe this is the last one here. This is Amethyst, one of my favorites as well. It's purple, and some of it comes in, there's different forms of it. There's a Venezuelan amethyst, I believe, or Veracruz. There's different types of amethyst. There's just different kinds that you can use, and they're extracted from different parts of the world. But they all have like a purple tinge. This helps with the third eye, open it up. Also getting psychic abilities. It helps remove negative energy from your life. The color purple is associated with the month of February for love, so it also is used a lot for love. It has a loving energy and property to it. It is the color of spirituality, so those of you that are opening up to your spiritual gifts, it is a good one to use for meditation, to connect. If you're doing psychic readings, to have that, I have on my desk a sphere of amethyst on it, and it's so beautiful. It's a small sphere, it's not a big one, but I have it on here. It almost looks like a little crystal ball, but I have it and I really, really enjoy it, and the vibration that it has. I also have some crystal pendants as well that I wear from time to time, and a bracelet. So this is one of my favorite crystals of all time, and I really, really enjoy its vibration and its energy. And again, like I said, you're going to notice what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Kind of go through maybe a list of crystals online. There's just so many shops, or you can go to Etsy.com and type in crystals, and a full array of crystals, or better yet, Pinterest. Those of you that use Pinterest, you can use that. It's like a search engine. It's an app that you can download on your phone and sign up for it. And basically with Pinterest, you can put in it's different types of crystals, and it'll come with information for you to read about the healing properties, etc., on your favorite crystal. So yeah, that is the presentation here. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Psychic Medium Ray. Pick up a copy of my book from my store if you want an autographed copy. It's called Starseed Footsteps, or you can get one that's not autographed on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. It is 40 chapters, I talk about everything spiritual. So if you have a lot of spiritual questions about maybe things that are happening to you, guess what? There's a lot of us that may have those same questions, and I address those in the book. And don't forget to submit your question for Tea with Spirit. If you've already submitted one, you don't have to resubmit it. Basically, just, do that. And every Monday I will be airing a new episode of Tea with Spirit, and I answer a question from one person, well, from 5 people around all the world, and it is compared to the psychic version of Dear Abby. So it's like the psychic version of it. But blessings and love and light, and I hope you enjoy your evening or day. Thank you.